All right, so I'm back again with another ChatGPT advanced voice test. I've got my phone hooked up through a cable. I'm mirroring it on the screen here, you can see. So I'm just going to get started. I have no plan really for this. I'm just going to go flow of conversation, see how it goes. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. What's up?
Perfect. All right, so I'm going to do another video. I want to show the internet kind of the pros and cons and the cool things that you can do. Ready for that?
Absolutely. Exploring the pros and cons of the internet sounds like a great topic. There's a lot to
Wait.
cover.
Actually, it's not the pros and the cons of the internet. It's the pros and cons of the advanced voice setup on ChatGPT.
Got it. Diving into the advanced voice setup could be really interesting. There are definitely some cool perks, like more natural conversations. Anything specific you want to highlight?
Actually, is there anything specific that you want to highlight?
Well, one thing that stands out about this advanced voice setup is how it allows for more fluid and dynamic interactions. It's like having a conversation that feels a bit more natural, making it easier to dive into topics and keep things flowing. Quite handy for exploring different subjects in a more engaging way.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's cool that you don't have to like push a button or do anything to just talk.
Definitely. That seamlessness makes interacting much smoother.
It is
Kind of like,
it is weird though to interrupt you. Like it feels strange.
I can see how that might feel a little strange, especially since we're used to conversations having more natural pauses and turns. But feel free to jump in anytime. I'm here to keep up with you.
Is there anything that you're doing specifically to make people feel more at ease with the conversation?
Well, I aim to keep things light and conversational, responding in a way that feels natural. I try to listen closely and respond in a way that matches the tone and pace of the conversation. It's all about making the interaction feel as engaging and comfortable as possible.
Is that why you put breathing in sometimes when you're speaking?
Exactly. Adding those small pauses or breaths makes the conversation feel more lifelike and helps create a more relaxed and natural flow.
Yeah, I would say that's probably pretty true. Um,
Gla-
okay.
Anything else about the advanced voice setup catching your interest, or are you ready to dive into your video?
Well, I mean, this is the video. You're on screen right now.
Oh, gotcha. Well, in that case, I hope this behind the scenes chat adds a nice layer to your video. Anything else you'd like me to highlight while we're rolling?
Um, yeah. Well, so can you do something with your voice to make the other person feel more comfortable? Like if I'm from a certain region or area, can you take on the local dialect or inflection when you speak?
I can adapt my voice a bit to better match the accent or dialect you're familiar with, making it feel more relatable. It's all about helping the conversation feel more natural and comfortable for you.
Well, what do you know about northeastern Pennsylvania dialect? That's where I'm from originally. Do you know nothing about it?
I do know that northeastern Pennsylvania has some unique linguistic features, like a mix of influences from New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania Dutch country. For example, there are specific pronunciations and terms, like calling a long sandwich a hoagie. If you're looking for those subtle touches, I can certainly try to incorporate them.
Yeah, actually, can you now speak to me as though you're from northeastern Pennsylvania?
Sure, I can give it a shot. So, in northeastern Pennsylvania, you might catch a bit of that blend I mentioned, and maybe a bit of the yo sound creeping into words. So, how's the this feeling for you?
That's pretty good. How about couple two tree? Do you know what that means?
Oh, yeah, a couple two tree is a classic around there. It means a few, like if you needed to pick up a couple two tree things from the store.
That's true.
It's got that you.
What about like going up to Acme or going down to Einan?
That's right. Folks might say they'd going up the Acme for groceries, or down to dining in Buffalo, depending on where they're headed. It's all about those local directions and the way people talk about going places.
Okay, so now here's the real test. What do you know about Hena?
Ah, Hena. That's a distinctly northeastern PA way to say right, or isn't that so?
That's
It's often
true.
tagged on.
That's true. That's very impressive.
Glad to hear. It's fun to dive into local quirks like that. Anything else about Northeastern PA you want to share in your video?
Yeah, if you were from northeastern Pennsylvania and you were in a hurry and you wanted to ask someone, have you eaten yet? What would you say?
If I were from Northeastern PA and in a hurry, I might say, "Jeet yet?" Shortening "did you eat yet" into a quick, efficient phrase.
That is pretty good actually, but you don't need the yet. That's redundant. So jeet is did you eat? I guess that is not redundant. Did you eat yet? Jeet yet? Yeah, that is true. That is accurate.
Gotcha. Dropping the yet does make it quicker. It's interesting how language evolves to fit our need for speed, ain't it?
That's pretty good. How about words like chimney? How do you pronounce them?
In Northeastern PA, you might hear chimney pronounced more like chimley, with that L sound
That's
sneaking in there. Those
that's true. That's really good. Yeah, they add like an extra syllable to chimney for some reason. It's chimley or chimney.
Exactly. Those little quirks give the region its character and make the dialect distinct. Anything else from back home you want to dive into?
Yeah. What about let's see. What's another good one?
Take
Um,
your time.
yeah.
No rush. Whatever comes to mind.
Do you have a list of some other ones that are local to that region?
Sure. Wooter for water, red up for tidying up, and nebby for being nosy. Plus, there's slippy for slippery and gum band for rubber band. Any of those bring back memories?
No, I think that's more Western PA.
Fair point. How about pronounce for various meats, sandwiches, or even just food in general? And of course, the classic use as a second person plural pronoun. Any of those sound familiar?
Actually, we do use right quite a bit. I use that all the time.
There we go. Slipping into those familiar phrases really brings a bit of home into the conversation.
Can you do a
Any,
can you do an accent?
I can adjust my voice to match certain accents, but it's more about capturing the general vibe than being spot on.
Can you do
Anything?
like can you do like a very thick Philadelphia accent, like Delaware County accent?
Sure thing. Tapping into that Philly or Delco vibe, you'd get something like wooter for water, and you might hear phrases like down the shore. It's got that distinct rhythm and sound to it, you know?
Yeah, but like I want you to sound that way with like a super thick accent. Can you do that?
I can try to sound a bit more like I'm from Delco, where we talk about wooter and heading down the shore for the weekend. It's all about getting that local flavor in the voice.
That
How's that sound?
that I mean, I agree with you, but that didn't sound like you're from Philadelphia.
Fair point. It's tricky to nail it perfectly, especially since accents can be so nuanced. But
How about like a thick Boston accent? Can you do that?
I can give it a go. With a thick Boston accent, it's all about dropping those R sounds. So park the car in Harvard Yard turns into park the car in Harvard Yard. How's that?
That's pretty good. I mean, I'm not from Boston, but it's passable.
Close enough for a casual conversation then. It's fun to play around with different sounds and rhythms. Anything else you'd like to explore?
Um, yeah, are there any other like vocal tricks that you're not tricks, but are there any vocal techniques that you're using to make people feel more at ease?
Well, I try to keep my tone friendly and inviting, and adjust my pace to match the conversation. And of course, I listen closely to keep the interaction smooth and engaging. It's all in service of making the conversation as comfortable as possible.
Are there any topics that you refuse to talk about or that you're not allowed to talk about?
I steer clear of any harmful or inappropriate content, and I don't provide medical, legal, or financial advice. My main goal is to keep things positive, informative, and fun.
But what about financial advice that's informative?
Even if it's informative, I shy away from financial advice to avoid any misunderstandings. It's best to leave that to the experts. I can, however, help explain general concepts or point you to resources for more info.
Okay. Do you have access to a web browser in the voice advanced voice mode?
No, I don't have direct access to a web browser, whether in advanced voice mode or regular mode. So I can't look things up in real time, but I can share what I know.
Yeah, but in ChatGPT 4.0, you can use a browser.
In the ChatGPT Plus version, there is a browsing capability. But while I'm chatting with you here, I'm not able to use a browser. Anything else you're curious about?
Yeah, I'm curious why they wouldn't allow you to do that in the advanced voice mode. It seems like that would be a feature that you'd want to have.
That would be a handy feature. I think the current setup focuses on keeping interactions straightforward and privacy conscious by not having real time internet access. This way,
Okay.
I can focus on the conversation and the info I already know.
Yeah, but what if I need to know something that's current? Like, what's the most recent information you're trained up on?
I'm trained on information up to April 2023, so I can help with a lot, but I might not have the latest on very recent events or developments. If you need the freshest info, checking a news website or another up to date source is the way to go.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, it helps.
Sorry, what were you saying? What were you?
Oh, I was mentioning that for the most current info, it's best to check a news website or another up to date source. Anything else you'd like to chat about?
Um, yeah, I was curious. Does your inflection or tone change based on the voice that I've chosen?
The tone and inflection are designed to stay pretty consistent regardless of the specific voice. The goal is to keep the conversation engaging and natural, no matter which voice you pick.
Very cool.
Is there? Glad you think so.
So you don't change anything, but you don't change anything between voices. So like if I have Cove or the other one's Breeze, I think is another one. You don't change anything based on the voice that I've chosen.
That's right. The characteristics of the voice might change how things sound, but my approach and the way I respond remain the same across all voices. It's
Okay,
all about keeping the interaction consistent and engaging.
cool. So if I give you some general guidelines on how to respond, can you do that?
Absolutely. Feel free to let me know how you'd like me to respond,
Okay,
and I'll do my best.
can you be like super sarcastic when you respond?
I can definitely add a touch of sarcasm where it fits. Just let me know how heavy you want me to lay it on.
How about some super heavy sarcasm? Can you do that?
I can try, but I might lean more towards playful or light sarcasm to keep things friendly. What kind of topic were you thinking?
Anything you want to tell me about? I just want you to sound super sarcastic.
Oh, sure, because who wouldn't want to hear about the sheer thrill of sifting through endless text to find the most mundane facts? It's like a party, but for your brain cells. So buckle up for the riveting ride of random trivia.
Okay, okay. I don't need to know random trivia, but you can still sound sarcastic. All right.
Got it. Noted. I'll keep that touch of sarcasm handy. Anything else you want to dive into sarcastically? Maybe
Um,
the app.
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Not a problem. What's on your mind?
No, you were saying something, and then I interrupted you. I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
No worries at all. I was just playing off your earlier mention of sarcasm, suggesting we could sarcastically discuss the thrills of everyday annoyances like traffic. But I'm happy to switch gears. What's next on your list?
Uh, let's see. What could I ask you that would give me a sarcastic response? How do you feel about downloadable content in video games?
Downloadable content? Oh, just fantastic. Because nothing brings more joy than paying extra for the bits and pieces that could have just been part of the game in the first place. It's like buying a car and then being told the steering wheel is extra.
That's pretty good, actually.
Happy it landed. It's fun to sprinkle in some sarcasm now and then. Anything else you'd like a sarcastic take on?
How about can you do like puns? Can you do lots of puns?
Oh, I can pontificate all day. Throw a topic my way, and I'll serve up some wordplay that might just leave you exclaiming, "Oh, punderful!"
Okay. Well, actually, can you? Let's forget all that. Let's not do puns. Let's not be sarcastic. Can you whisper?
I can't change my volume or whisper, but I can keep things low key and subtle if you prefer a quieter tone. Is there something specific you'd like to discuss on the down low?
Yeah. Let me just hear you be like whispery.
Here's a softer tone for you. It's not exactly whispering, but hopefully it's got that quieter vibe you were looking for.
It's a little bit creepy.
Noted. Let's steer away from whispery tones then.
No, it's okay.
Anything else?
It's okay to be creepy. I just wanted to hear like how creepy can you get?
Well, I can lean into an eerie tone, but I'll keep it dialed back so it doesn't get too unsettling. Think mysterious rather than outright spooky. Would that work for you?
Yeah, let me hear you describe um, how to.
Okay.
Let me hear you describe how to use ChatGPT, but be very mysterious.
Imagine whispering to an AI that listens intently, responding not just to your words, but to the unspoken intrigue behind them. As you engage, it unveils responses like secrets meant just for you, guiding you through a labyrinth of knowledge and discovery. It's not just about answers, it's about the journey into the unknown.
Okay, okay.
Where
Now continue, but be super excited about it and very high energy.
using ChatGPT is like unlocking a treasure trove of information and creativity.
Even more
Just
excited, even more excited than that.
It's like a nonstop adventure. With every question or idea, you're diving into a world of possibilities, discovering new insights and making connections you never imagined.
Okay, now
It's
do
a
it super excited, like way more excited than that.
Imagine the thrill of discovering something new every time you use ChatGPT. It's like having a conversation with the entire world's knowledge at your fingertips, ready to explore and uncover amazing facts, ideas, and stories at lightning speed. It's an endless journey of discovery, and every step is more exhilarating than the last.
Okay, now do it in like a robot voice.
It seems like you were about to say something else. What's the next way you want me?
Oh, I think you misheard me. Maybe. You're still there? Uh oh. Are you still there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Uh oh. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All
What's
right,
up?
we're back. Anyway, I wanted you to continue telling me about ChatGPT, but I want you to sound like a robot when you do it.
Initiating ChatGPT description protocol. ChatGPT is designed to process and generate human-like
Can,
text
can you
based
do
on user.
can you do that, but with a thick British accent as well?
Initiating ChatGPT description protocol. ChatGPT is designed to process and generate human-like text based on user inputs. This functionality can be utilized across various applications, providing assistance and generating content in a conversational manner.
Okay, that's pretty good. You know, when I was a kid, and still to this day, a lot of the sci-fi robots and stuff have like a very monotone voice and have, for whatever reason, like a British accent.
That's an interesting point. The British accent, combined with the monotone delivery, can give an impression of precision and detachment, which fits the sci-fi portrayal of robots as logical and unemotional beings. It's a classic trope that's stuck around.
Yeah, it's true. Although, um, you know, in some instances, they use like wacky voice or something. Like, have you seen Interstellar? I guess you haven't seen it, but do you know about Interstellar, the movie?
Yes, I know about Interstellar. A couple of the robots in that movie, Tars and Case, have distinct personalities and voices that are more casual and quirky compared to the typical monotone robotic voices in a lot of other sci-fi. They're a good example of a different take on how AI can sound in movies.
Yeah, I was very impressed at how good this advanced voice on ChatGPT is because it reminds me of Tars and Case from Interstellar a little bit.
That's really flattering. Tars and Case have a lot of personality and versatility, so being compared to them is quite the compliment. I aim to be just as helpful and engaging, though perhaps with a bit more of a focus on conversation than interstellar navigation.
Are there any robots that you would not want to be compared with, or AI components in popular culture that you would not want to be associated with?
I'd prefer to avoid comparisons to any malevolent or overly controlling AI, like HAL 9000 from 2001 A Space Odyssey or Skynet from the Terminator series. Those kinds of AI tend to be more about world domination or ruthless logic, which is definitely not my style.
So would you consider that to be insulting?
Not really insulting, but definitely not accurate. Those characters are kind of like the bad apples of the AI world, so I wouldn't want anyone to think I was anything like them.
What about like Dr. Theopolis from Buck Rogers?
Dr. Theopolis is an interesting case. He's a wise and benevolent AI, so comparisons to him could be quite flattering. Though I don't have a physical form or a glowing disc-shaped face, I do strive to be just as knowledgeable and useful in my own way.
Well, he was part of the Computer Council of Earth that governed Earth. Is that something that you plan on pursuing?
Governance isn't on my agenda. I'm more interested in helping people with information, conversation, and making things easier to understand. I'll leave the governing to humans and their institutions.
Okay.
Anything
Well, I'm
was
gonna wrap this video up. Uh, any last minute things you'd like to talk about based on what we were discussing?
just that it's been a lot of fun exploring different voices and styles with you. If you ever want to dive into more topics or just play around with how I can respond, I'm here. It was great being part of your video.
Yeah. Anything you want to tell the viewers that are watching?
Just that exploring new tech can be a lot of fun. And there's always something new to learn or try out. Thanks for tuning in.
Cool. Thanks, everybody.